This podcast features a lot of adult language.
Hey guys, welcome to the Sea of Mist recap episode for episode 13, right?
Yeah,
13. I got Bret Rude to my right here, that's your left. I got Jay your left. I don't even know, is the image flipped afterwards?
No, I'm pretty sure I'm on...
I'm pretty sure
Who cares?
I'm on the left.
I'm on your right.
Bret's in the red,
Considering
and I
you can see
got
right
James Houlihan to my left or right here.
And recap, you may be asking.
Recap.
Whatever do you mean?
Well, we had a little bit of a technical learning curve due to improving our equipment so that we can make our podcast sound as legit as possible. And unfortunately, due to some dual channel recording, that's for whoever wants to pick that up and know what I'm talking about.
It's serious technical stuff.
Yeah, we cut half our time of what we thought we had, so we lost some footage.
But in game, it's called Gremlins.
Gremlin's got our audio.
they're a
Gremlin's
thing.
got the audio.
Yeah.
I was actually looking for Gremlins recently, and I had to go back a few editions. It's troubling.
Oh, like in D&D?
Yeah.
Or the movie?
Like
I was thinking the
Monster
movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Gremlins aren't like really a thing anymore.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Yeah.
We have to
They're
reintroduce them. Oh, no, they're getting...
Yeah.
Don't worry.
They're getting made?
I got this.
Oh, great.
Luckily, Bret has an iPad in front of him with tons of notes from the game, and you're going to go through it and narrate the game for us. And
So yeah, we tried to take some notes and write down some things from what we remembered. There might be a couple little parts that we don't recall off the top of our head, but...
Yeah, because we realized pretty quickly what had happened, and everything was pretty fresh.
Oh, I knew that
during
night, and I didn't tell you guys until the next day, and I sat down and I wrote everything down after.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that's why we actually have some pretty detailed notes.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to tell everyone right after they left the game. Everyone's like, "We had such a great time."
So this awesome.
Sorry.
Yeah, that hasn't happened before.
We'll just pretend that's true.
Yeah.
Alright, so if you're watching this and you haven't watched episode 12, go check it out because it leads right into this.
It's true. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. So it and this kind of picks up right where the other one left off, and this is a very combat heavy episode. Basically, the whole we're going to be doing a lot of combat.
So at least we're not missing role playing action.
Yeah, not missing a lot of plot points. There's one big plot point in here, but you'll just have to see in just a moment here.
Yeah, but that's at least some of the good news, which is if you had to pick an episode you were going to lose, it would be one that was 3 hours of us rolling dice and fighting, and not like 3 hours of us diplomacying, diplomacying our way through a royal court.
Well, now we don't have to edit 3 hours of combat either, which is great.
True.
We're going to edit 30 minutes of us talking about
We
it.
should do this every time.
Yeah, we should just always
sabotaging the audio.
Just like, oh yeah, what's that? Unplugs.
We go into combat. This is us.
I don't know what happened.
We'll drop the curtain, or
right.
open the curtain, whichever one it is.
Okay.
We'll do something like this. How about this?
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, good.
Alright, we left off. Traynor was up in the tower. Svanya was down in the pit. Randon just moved over to the northeast wall. Zakaria is in the tower. Zakaria had just been skewered by 3 javelins, launched by several orcs.
3 at once?
Yeah. Oh no, I'm sorry. 2 of them hit.
Oh my god!
And took her down to I forgot what she told me her hit points were, but she was like extremely low.
They're like that chick
How
up
do we
in the
forget
tower.
about these things?
Fuck her. Huh.
And then Svanya was like, "Hey, you should use a healing potion because I don't want to use my healing on you."
That's called heals management.
But anyway, and she's lying. She fell down and she's looking.
Did I really do that?
You really said that. I literally
hilarious.
edited that episode.
That's so funny.
Oh, add that to the highlight reel.
So then she quick recap from the episode 12. She's laying there looking at Thrashmaw, and she hears a voice within her head. Not Thrashmaw's voice, but a voice within her head telling her that her soul shall soon be his. Like this very evil sounding voice that wasn't Thrashma's with his purple eyes. So she's like up in the tower, and so then the bad guys started. We have written down bad guys. The orcs, the bad guys, a bunch of random faceless bad guys. The orcs run up and start smashing on the walls more, and they started coming past that the hunger of Hadar that she had cast previously dissipated, and they started streaming in through that front gate. So Zakaria reacted by casting agonizing blast at Thrashma, and he just seemed to wave it off like it was nothing. He basically just laughed at her and said something in Orcish.
He did a lot of that. If I remember, he just laughed at us when we did stuff. Like, check this out, I'm gonna fuck him up, and then you do something and he just laughs at us.
Yeah, and that's a dick.
Yeah. And at this point, everyone was like, okay, there's something weird going on with the orc's eyes, but here's this big orc warlord. So then Svanya heads towards where Rhiannon is at, the northeast section of the wall, to converge on the orcs that were coming in. And Traynor shot some more orcs over on the east entrance as well as the ogre. So Traynor, along with some militia, were over on that east side, or he was watching the east side.
Yeah,
he was doing a lot over there.
That was a decent amount of what we did that game. Was at least what I think the fighter year types were doing was managing, because we had like the 3 different directions. So we were kind of one turn we'd be like, okay, these guys are breaking through, and then these guys are, so we kind of have to. And Traynor was up in the tower, providing cover, same with Zakaria.
Yeah, and the whole time I wanted to paint this picture like there were plenty more orcs running around and doing stuff than you were actually engaging.
Those were the main.
Those are the ones that you're focused on, the ones that the camera is focused on, and then the rest is kind of background.
Not just schmuck orcs.
Yeah.
Next one.
So Rhiannon
used that was a coincidence. I was not trying to butter mine up.
Used the Dwarven battle axe Hugh to explode the wood logs outward toward the ogre and the orcs.
I just imagine
they can't get in.
Some villagers I spent 24 hours straight building that palisade wall, and you're just like.
Well, it was the first opportunity I found to actually use its max damage against wood or plant. Yeah.
Hector's all carving a heart with H in it, like someone that he really likes, and then you're all.
That was pretty
fucking
awesome. Hector. It looked cool though.
So explodes out towards the ogre and orcs, screaming at them with intimidation. It causes the orcs to stop for a moment and get riled up. They start banging their shields with their swords, screaming to kill the dwarf. While here he starts beating on the ogre. I while I'm here, I'm just gonna start beating on this ogre. I remember he smashed through, and then I'm like, you just all. Just right past him. You started smashing on that guy.
Nice.
And then they were attacking. I remember they were doing quite a bit, but this was interesting. Then Thrashma, this was the first interesting moment that he had. Well, really interesting. He holds his hand up towards Traynor up in the tower, right? And he casts Melf's Acid Arrow up at Traynor, which was most puzzling. You wouldn't think that an orc warlord would know the spell Melf's Acid Arrow. But Traynor has a super ring of deflection, which I kind of forgot about, and he caught that arrow.
It's his ring of deftness.
Yes,
kind of like a toned down gloves of missile snaring.
Yeah, and he keeps catching.
Pretty badass. He's utilized that a few times.
Yeah, it's kind of perfect for him because he stays at range, and then anyone that wants to do range is all meh.
I remember he real early on had said something about how he was kind of regretting not going monk because he really liked the idea of catching arrows out of the air. So I was like, okay, that's kind of one of those DM moments where you store that nugget away for later. So when you're like, oh, what the fuck should I give these guys? And then you have that. So pro tip.
Hey, this isn't per diem. All right.
Sorry.
Well, in there.
Save the advice for later. So then Zakaria casts Ray of Sickness at Thrashmaw, then takes cover in the tower.
No more javelins.
And if I recall correctly, that was when Thrashmaw just, again, the Agonizing Blast, he just took like nobody's business. But then Ray of Sickness, he had a special ability where he could just ignore it. He had one free save. He's like, I'm not even going to roll a save.
Yeah,
fuck you guys.
I believe he probably laughed at us at that point.
Yeah, and he laughed again, laughing, lots of laughing. But then
it says lots laughing,
yeah,
laughing.
Does it?
Yeah.
Laughing. No, I'm just kidding. So then Svanya uses her Morning Star, doing a running jump, overhead smash, hitting the ogre right in the cranium, indenting his head halfway through. The ogre stumbles around a bit, but Svanya just puts her body weight forward and surfs the ogre backward down to the ground. The heat coming off her hammer allows the Morning Star to just pull out of the head like butter.
Ogre surfing.
Now, what's funny is you did that twice.
Yeah.
You did that at the end of episode 12. So, yeah, you literally
at least two ogres.
So,
which I love your description, by the way. That was super nice, and I made sure I remembered it. That's why I wrote it.
Oh yeah,
the Morning Star was so hot that it just slid out.
It's so gross because it's got some spikes and shit.
It smells like ogre brains.
They're like cooked.
Delicious.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
Then Traynor used Hail of Thorns on the orcs to the east, which I think did very well. I think he got a few orcs with that.
Traynor kicked ass that
episode.
He was up in the tower the whole time, but I feel like he probably killed more orcs than anybody.
Yeah. Well, then again, Zakaria killed 10, was it 8 or 10 in one turn? Just whoosh.
Yeah, he doesn't have as much AoE.
So, I think they're both kind of competing. Well, I think in total he probably got more.
Which is fitting, though, because they're like the artillery characters.
This is like my favorite episode for Traynor. I'm bummed that we lost this last third of the episode.
He was doing really well.
Well, it'll come later. I'll let you get to it. But his Assassin's Creed moment is how that was. I love it. Sorry, it's kind of a negative at the same time.
Yeah.
Anyways,
yeah, that's why I was about to say he's probably kind of stoked that it didn't get recorded.
Yeah. This is like my favorite part.
Well, let's not give it away.
All right.
So, Rhiannon kills some orcs at the newly made northeast wall entrance.
That's right.
By Rhiannon.
Not newly made now.
You just started like swirling around.
Oh, the newly made gate.
Yeah.
Yes, the newly made entrance.
And they tried to wail on you, but you had like 60
actually, this was one of the games where they were hitting a lot, though. Yeah,
but it kind of didn't matter.
Yeah.
Zakaria casts Frostbite at Thrashmaw, and he catches it in his hand. Oh, this my apologies. This is the part. Casts Frostbite at him, and he dispels it without effort. That was when he used his ability, and he says, "Your spells are infantile. You are but a whelp within my shadow." Again, said in this like kind of shadowy language, or not language, but voice. Come, bring me your soul. It shall make a fine addition to my collection. So this was thoroughly creeping everybody out because they're like, "What the fuck is going on with this?"
You collect souls. It's not normal.
A soul collector, as it were. So I definitely think this was the moment where people realized there was a bit more to Thrashmaw than you were counting for. They were like, "Oh, he just dispelled that," and then the Melf's acid arrow, yeah. So anyway, Svanya then heads to Thrashmaw and swings her Morning Star right into his side. I remember that, yeah. And then he grabbed the handle and just pulled it out, laughing.
Yeah, see?
Laughing.
More laughing.
Laughed at her.
Laughing.
This is my chance really to just laugh at the players. Like,
he's actually a very jolly fellow.
Yeah, I know. It's like Santa Claus, Santa Thrashmaw, Santa Maw.
It's like a big green Buddha.
So Traynor concentrated more on the orcs to the east. Rhiannon was working over that ogre a little further. We didn't have extensive notes on those turns. Zakaria moves from the tower to the northeast entrance and asks Thrashmaw who his master is. I don't think we have a note on it. I'm fairly certain she took a healing potion in there.
I think there was more that happened between there. Yeah.
Javelins, like Hey! So anyway, she heads over.
I'm pretty sure I used a heal at some point during that game.
Yeah.
Either that or a bless.
Yeah, I'm trying to recall. Well, we'll see if we have that noted. So she could tell that he was possessed by something or there was something else.
Oh.
And she asked Thrashmaw who his master is.
Didn't I try and turn undead at some point once we started getting a bad vibe about these dudes?
I don't
Doesn't
know.
sound familiar.
No? Okay.
And if you did, well, we'll get to that in a moment.
Okay.
She said it in Orcish too, and I asked her to actually say it, and she said, "Shradak Thok." So Thrashmaw turns his head to answer her as he's beating on Svanya. I'm sure he was laughing. He says, "I serve no one." Actually, no. Again, a mysterious voice. "I serve no one. I am Karakhart, master of the Veil, and now immortal Lich God of the eternal plane." So, yes.
He's just talking in circles.
Yeah, so now it's Orc Warlord, who's also a Lich God. So kind of a bad day for these guys. So then Svanya fights Karakhart further.
Which was awesome, finding out you're fighting the Lich God of the Eternal Plane.
Yeah, just that guy.
Better to know that going in.
yeah. But that's what I loved.
Prepared more, man.
Yeah, I'm like, I would have at least, I don't even know, gotten some more heals memorized.
I think this was kind of the poo pants moment. I think
Probably.
I think there's some brown
alert.
alerts there. So then Traynor killed 3 more orcs with his arrows and decided to head toward the northeast opening where the ogre is behind the wall. He asked the DM if there's a haystack at the bottom of the tower. He needed to get down from the tower. So he asked, and I said, "Oh yeah, there's a haystack down there right next to a market stall." And he wanted to do an Assassin's Creed style jump down. He rolled a 1. And he hit the roof, and then another roof, and then the top of the market stall, and then finally lands in the haystack.
I thought we said he landed next to the haystack.
I was gonna say that it was the haystack covering like a bunch of like wrought iron scraps or something. It was like, I forget how much damage he took, but he was like he was kind of like Loki in Avengers, was just like, he was having a bad day. There was much rejoicing on our parts, not on his.
Assassin.
Yeah, I know.
What was funny is that no one was actually there to witness it in character.
Oh,
so
yeah.
he was just like, that didn't happen?
Yeah.
It's just like comes jogging in. What's happening, guys?
Those orcs just beat me up so bad. Hector
I
sees
killed
him.
him, though.
Hector saw.
Hector's like...
Hector sees everything?
Yeah, I know.
Actually, I don't think Hector had shown up by this point, had he? He
Well,
show up till
Hector
the
was
next
with
He was
the
just kind
other
of
guards.
flavor
There
on
was,
the east,
there
right?
was, yes, there was
I think
the
I said
east
he was over
wall.
on the east.
He was with all the other like militia dudes or whatever.
He was just
that
running
entrance.
around kicking ass.
That whole entrance was all NPC. Like
Hector,
it was.
I'm thinking of a different character.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're not thinking about the dude that totally beat your ass?
That you double dick punched?
That he got his dick punched.
One for each ball.
Exactly. You know me so well. No, I was thinking of an NPC that'll be introduced in the next episode.
Oh, okay. Future character. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay,
You'll have to watch the next episode to find out.
So then Rhiannon continues to kill some orcs. This is kind of old hat for Rhiannon at this point.
It's a living.
I'm an orc. Or I'm a dwarf. Zakaria. Okay, so this was a matter of some contention.
Oh god, yeah, this was awesome. I had so much fun with this.
So Zakaria then casts Hunger of Hadar on Thrashmaw, who is currently in hand-to-hand combat with Svanya. So it cast I think it's a 20-foot radius ball of tentacle, slimy, acid, cold.
And I should know when a dude plays a female character, your number one goal is to just stay as far away from any hentai sort of situation as possible, and you're making it harder and harder, and I don't appreciate it.
So Zakaria casts Hunger of Hadar, even though Svanya will be in its dark, disgusting path. You can see in her eyes a moment of hesitation. She is torn. Should she cast a spell that can hurt her friend as well? She does it anyway. She is on a mission. I think the other players noticed that as soon as Zakaria knew who Thrashmaw was, she was focused on killing this guy. And this was kind of a moment of... Tiffany said that she was like, I'm pretty certain Svanya could handle, the one turn, and she felt bad, but she wanted to put him in there.
The thing is, we weren't privy to the fact that she knew who this guy was.
Yeah.
All we knew is that she suddenly got serious, so.
Yeah.
But my character was just in there fighting, so she didn't really know what was going on.
And then suddenly just turned black and licking tentacles. Mm.
Hunger of hentai.
Yeah. Hentai of Hadar.
Hentai of Hadar.
Who made all these tentacle spells anyway?
So it says here, Svanya cast something. Do you remember what you cast? Oh, was it?
Probably a fucking heal or something.
Yeah, I think it was a heal.
Hey, I'm dying. Oh yeah, it was. I remember. I had to heal myself because I almost got killed by the tentacles.
There's too much penetration.
So, then swinging blindly, walking in a straight direction to get out of the Hunger of Hadar, ending up closer to the wall again. So he kind of fell back a little bit. Traynor brushes himself off and moves over to the northeast wall, opening made by Rhiannon, and puts some arrows into some orcs. He just didn't even use his bow.
I can just picture John actually saying "Yep, that didn't happen."
One guard standing there who just fell from the...
This arrow right in the neck.
So then Rhiannon finishes off the orcs and heads halfway towards Karakart. And I think at that point you killed 2 or 3 in that one turn. I think you were doing this crazy, almost whirlwind thing. I remember there was a turn where you just wrecked house, and I thought that was the final one, where it's they all just fell to their knees.
Sometimes he gets a lot of attacks in.
Yeah. So here's a little flavor we wrote in.
Oh, you just fucking reminded me though. After I kill all those fucking orcs, never mind. I'll save it. I'll let you save it when it comes out.
So you see
time well spent.
You see an orc on the ground, and a shield comes bearing down into its neck, killing it. The camera pans up, and it is Hector from episode 12. The east gate has been cleared of orcs. So yeah, Hector got the last kill on that.
Kill stealer.
So
Hector the wise.
He's trying to level up.
Hector the strong.
So then you see Thrashmaw just come walking out of the Hunger of Hadar.
Laughing.
Most likely laughing.
Laughing.
Yeah, there's 3 more pages of laughing. It goes to Rhiannon, beginning to beat on him in return, really. So nice. He was beating on Rhiannon. Zakaria... so Zakaria used Agonizing Blast on some other orcs. Tentacles tear away at their flesh. Svanya, actually, we have a blank spot here. Do you recall what Svanya did at that moment?
I believe I was just killing more orcs.
Okay. Then Traynor cast Silence on Karakart.
That was awesome.
Yeah. And I was like, because he's basically a lich, so he casts spells, but once you cast Silence on him, he's screwed. So then Rhiannon, you see just screaming in silence, attacking Karakart 3 times. Each strike deadlier than the previous. Yet somehow, even though Karakart falls over after each blow, I'll just say he fell over once, because that's a little silly, but he falls over and ran.
That was frustrating, though. Because I had 3 or 4 attacks, and it's knock him down, got back up. I'm alright, I'll do it again.
Yeah, at that point I was okay, he's trying to tell us something. We can't kill this dude. We gotta do something else.
So that's all Rhiannon knows. Doesn't know anything else.
I have to use something besides file.
At this point, Rhiannon says, nope, I'm out of here, and flees back toward the wall. Not that could have been heard. So then Karakart walks out of the Cone of Silence and casts a spell, creating zombies out of the ogre and some orcs, because again he is a lich. and
Son of a bitch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Raise them from the dead, and I believe that they were behind you too. So
Yeah, those were like the 4 or 5 orcs I killed. Yeah, it was great.
Whoop, they're back.
But that's more XP, so
That's true.
So then Zakaria used her poison spray. She was having some fun with that
she
in the battle.
she was closer at that point.
Yeah.
She was like right up there.
And then Svanya used the Thunder Wave. That's the only note I have on that one.
Spell.
Yeah.
So were you using it on Thrashmaw, or was it the orcs?
It's a radius spell, right?
Yeah, I was like it was an.
Oh.
It's okay.
It was just like an AOE where I'm pretty sure it was orcs.
Just taking out
him,
orcs.
maybe.
Oh, yeah. So then Traynor shoots the prone zombie ogre. Oh, that's right. The poison spray and the thunder wave together ended up knocking the ogre over.
That's right.
So he was prone, and then Traynor shot the zombie ogre. Now it says rolling with disadvantage and getting a miraculous 1 and a 20.
Yeah, that happens.
But then it says that the DM has the ogre's head come clean off from a deadly arrow.
So what happened was
that?
You had him roll with disadvantage, and he rolled a critical fail and a critical hit. And because the odds of getting a 1 and 20, you decided that was
like,
worth more than a critical hit.
Yeah, I agree. That's a crazy
the chances
roll.
of getting that is like,
well,
mathematicians out there, go ahead and let us know what the chances of getting a 1 and a 20.
Don't tell me, I don't care.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
That's right. So I superseded the disadvantage and just said, you know what? Fuck it. You tore his head off with an arrow. So then Randon fights a few zombies. One manages to get up after hit, so he only takes out 1 of the 3. Have an off day. Sweet. Zombie shooter. Zakaria runs up to Karakart, runs up to him, uses her shillelagh with her quarterstaff, hitting him right in his face, knocking him over. Yet he manages to pick himself back up, laughing. I'm sure he was laughing.
So we got more pages of laughing.
Pro tip: shillelagh is really
fucking
freaking
OP.
Dude, it's pretty nuts.
Like
I'm
the
super
first
jealous.
time she used that, or I just listened to the episode. I literally commented, "I'm like, why the fuck am I a fighter? Just be anyone who can use shillelagh and has a good stat for your casting." I'm just like,
she has a high charisma, so it's like whoop, or is it wisdom?
I think it's wisdom. Yeah.
Either way, both of those.
I mean,
stats
it's like
are really
a
high.
slot, right? Or is it a?
No, it's
a cantrip, dude. It's a cantrip. We'll talk about this on per diem.
It's so fucking ridiculous.
Shillelagh's pretty insane.
That's why in John's campaign, I just chose a bird that holds a club with shillelagh.
and it's magic damage, right?
It counts as a magic weapon, so you can like beat up ghosts and vampires and shit with it. Yeah.
What the fuck? And it's a cantrip that you can start the game with?
Yeah. All right,
so druids.
Next time on Per Diem, we're talking about shillelagh.
About the shillelagh episode. We'll have to bring some shillelaghs. Rhaenyn finally kills the final zombie. So Karakart picks up Zakaria by her neck and starts to drain the life out of her. He removed 6 of her hit points permanently.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And she's a caster, so she doesn't even have that many to start with. And she was like,
yeah, but I just jumped out of the tentacle swarm, so I was like,
oh hey.
But then it was permanent, so I was like, that's that's rough.
Zakaria, with the life draining out from her, manages to grab his wrist with both of her hands and cast shocking grasp. Electricity starts to flow from her wrists and through his. As the life stops draining from Zakaria, the electricity starts to get stronger and begins to run through his arms into the rest of his body. His grip becomes looser and Zakaria is dropped to the ground, and Karakart falls to the ground, sizzling. And that was that. She killed him with
that was awesome.
Shocking grasp. Yeah. And I thought that was a great dramatic moment because she was literally being picked up. She was gonna die. Like I remember the next turn. No one did anything, she was good as dead. I was like, maybe Randon could chop off his arm, or
I don't know. Could Randon do anything to him?
I don't know.
Not the first 4 times.
Please tell me how you feel about this.
But your axe is magical, so it was doing damage. But if I recall correctly, you did have resistance to some stuff.
You said there was some reason why, like he was like on a technical level, he was like at 1 HP, but he kept getting back up because he couldn't die from whatever was happening. Or no, you kept rolling. Didn't you have a skill that
you gave
he
him
would
like
roll?
Yeah, that's right.
Like he was coming back.
I gave him the zombie ability.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so there's an ability as a zombie. If they're reduced to 0 hit points, they get to roll a Constitution save.
And you made it all 4 times.
If they make it, they get back up.
Constitution.
Yeah. So, because the idea was that this was not Carhartt, Master of the Veil, and Lich God of the Eternal Plane. This was but his vessel that he was possessing. So, really, you were fighting Thrashmaw, but Thrashmaw was being remote controlled by him. So Thrashmaw really was a zombie, just like all the other orcs and the ogre that he had raised. So that's why he had the zombie ability. But because maybe I'm giving away a bit too much, but I'm just too excited. Carhartt could channel his power to a limited extent through Thrashmaw, through his subjects that he's possessed.
That's why I wasn't casting like higher level spells.
Exactly. So yeah, Lich God could obviously cast some really gnarly stuff, but he has to go through a lot of tunnels. It's a bad Wi-Fi signal trying to get through there.
He's at like 2 bars.
I know, right?
Like LTE.
A lot of roaming going on there.
LTE is good. Not like 2G.
So the battle ends and the town is safe. Very good. Svanya promptly walks over and punches Zakaria right in the face for casting Hunger of Hadar. And Zakaria just goes, "Well, I deserve that." She's like, Like Tiffany was a good sport about it. Like she's like, "Yeah, no, I get it." Like,
I mean, that was a weird situation because I was like, well, if I'm just gonna roleplay my character how she would react, I'd probably have to go over and like stab her, and I don't want to do that because that's lame.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, just punch her in the face. That works.
I mean, I thought that was appropriate though.
Yeah,
it's not like you guys don't know each other, aren't friends, questing together.
Yeah.
I thought that was like one of those cool moments. And the other thing that I thought was neat about that moment is like I've seen movies where like, you know, 2 big burly dudes are like, and then one guy, boom, smacks the guy, and they're like, ha, you know, like, okay, all's good. But this was 2 women doing it, you know, and it was kind of interesting. I mean, Svanya's just like, Rob, and Zakaria's like kind of crazy. So she's like,
yeah, it was cool.
So she accepted it, knowing she shouldn't have cast a spell near Svanya, but there seems to be more pressing matters on Zakaria's mind. Pale and weak from Carhartt draining the life out of her, she frantically starts searching the bodies. For some reason, why, we don't know. She is acting differently, and we don't really know why. You hear her talking about a dagger while searching Carhartt's body, and she seems frantic. While searching his body, the only thing she finds is a helmet and some kind of axe. The only thing at this point that Zakaria cares about is finding Mortander and asking him what the hell is going on and where the damn dagger is. The dagger seems to be the only thing she cares about. And again, this whole army was here searching for Mortander, which was in episode 12. But just to reiterate, they were searching for Mortander. She's trying to figure out why, and she's trying to find this dagger. Svanya and Traynor tend to the town, walking around healing hurt villagers, and making sure that they're all good. And then Randon walks the perimeter, making sure orcs and such are dead, driving a sword into anyone he needs to along the way, keeping his eye out for anything useful. Not searching bodies, but keeping an eye open. He, of course, also collects the skull of Carhartt.
Naturally.
And that basically concludes our notes on that.
Yeah, that was one thing I actually really liked about this adventure specifically was it was one of those ones that changes Vandalen kind of fundamentally.
Yeah.
So I really like that just because it makes the Vandalen in our game different than, you know, just the standard textbook.
Yeah.
Where, just walking in, it would look like a different place, you know.
It's now got the walls.
Mm-hmm,
there's gypsies camped in there. Yeah. People have been killed. There was a battle there.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think that's cool. It gives a lot more flavor.
And I was thinking about this, too. I'm wondering how many people have really taken to Vandalen and done something similar to this. I think a lot of people use this module, and then they finish it, and then they go on with their lives, and then they go all over Faerun, and they don't concentrate as much. But I'm sure there's some other people out there. you out there, if you fundamentally changed Fandalen, please write it in the comments below.
I think it's probably not super uncommon because the module does mention like when you clear Tressendar Manor, that could be a potential base, stuff like that. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm sure it's not super duper uncommon, but still, you know, just having a base there and it being the place where you go to stores is a little different from like we're having adventures that are really like weaving in people like Hector and Elsa, and we have our own establishment there, and then
we brought in some of our viewers,
finding ways to make it our own.
Yeah, and then also like the whole thing with Ayla Tressendar, and there's basically
Archangelo.
Yeah, actually, there's been a lot that's happened just in Fandalen. Yeah. So, although Archangelo hasn't appeared yet.
To the viewers.
Yeah.
Has he not?
No,
it's next. Oh no, he appeared in episode 12, but it wasn't there. There wasn't a focus yet.
Yeah.
I thought there was already an episode that came out where we went to the bar.
No, that's next one. Yeah, there's some good shit coming. Don't worry.
It's part off.
So,
shut up. Edit now.
No. But yeah, so things like that, it just gives it a really cool vibe where if you just walked, if you were to describe just textbook Fandalen, you've got a different guy running it, you've got Sildar still there.
Yeah.
Tressendar Manor is still a ruin, whereas in ours it's almost finished being reconstructed and all that stuff. So it's just a different vibe, and and what's cool is that I think, I mean, I can't speak for you guys, but I feel like when I was playing, you get the sense like we directly affected that, so it gives you a lot more attachment to it.
Yeah,
it's like this is like when if you were just like, okay, we just got here, oh shit, orcs are attacking this town.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if I was to say you guys are awakened and you hear screams outside and there's orcs running around stabbing people, you'd be like, hey, fuck you.
Yeah.
So, I think it definitely helps the game.
And I really am curious to see what other people have done with Fandalen. Like, I'm sure people have some great stories. Like, oh yeah, we burned that place to the ground, but then we built this new thing, or we cast a spell and now everything's made of crystals.
Hopefully, people will actually mention some things that they've done that they liked in Fandalen, because we're actually gonna pretty soon on Per Diem have Richard Baker on, which is one of the writers of the module. Yeah. And it'd actually be cool to hear people's stories, because we could probably mention them.
Yeah, that would be cool. Like, pick top 5 or something and share those with them. That'd be cool.
He was pretty excited to come on. So
sweet.
Should be good.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. I'm excited, too.
Have our apology letters ready.
I am so sorry that Glassstaff didn't even get to do anything.
Oh,
he should have been named Glassstaff.
What episode is that?
Like Glassjaw or what was
3 or 4.
Yeah, dude. Oh, that poor bastard.
He's just like, why is my secret door open? Oh, arrows!
I better grab my staff.
Like, oh, being stabbed.
Yeah, anyone running this module, that was in the Tressendar Manor, right?
Yeah.
Who is reading up on how to like role play this? What is he? Was he a
Glassstaff? He was a human wizard. But basically there's like a half page at least dedicated to like, okay, this is how he should behave and blah blah blah, and this is what his background is. And but it did say if the heroes go in through his secret door, he's surprised. Which, I mean, surprise in D&D is a specific term, like surprised.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, they get the free turn. So first thing they do is, like, and I said he's reaching for his staff, which is his staff of defense. So Oval uses his mage hand, grabs it. Traynor shoots him in the hand, like. Brandon runs in and slashes him and knocks him out of his chair, and so I mean he didn't even
disgusting.
And I arbitrarily just doubled his hit points. I'm like,
and he still died.
Yeah, like that's gonna be super dumb if they just kill him in one turn, and then you just kept mowing through his hit points.
Yeah. Like, should we keep him alive? I was like, he's a wizard, kill him.
Yeah,
Oval knows.
Anyone who wants to like use that character in their campaign, go listen to that game and find out things that you should not allow to be done to him.
Triple his hit points and they sneak in there.
Yeah.
Pro tip.
Bad.
Well, also, we were a little higher level at that point than because we went around doing a bunch of extra stuff.
3rd level?
I think we were
2nd or 3rd.
I can't remember.
It might have been.
Oh, it must have been at least.
And also we're running a bigger party too. I think the module's for like 3 to 5 players, and we're running with 6. And we were like, even just one level over is gonna really skew things. So, anyways, we're kind of
derailing a bit.
So, hope you enjoyed this recap. We apologize for not having the original audio, but hey, that's growing pains for improving our show. The show is about to improve even more coming up soon. We're very excited for that, so keep staying in tune. We're going to keep releasing these episodes. We have the audio for 14 and 15, and then we're going into I think we're going into 16 really strong. We're hoping.
Yeah, fun surprises.
So
that will be the season finale for season 1, and then we'll plow into season 2.
That's basically the introduction of the format. For season 2,
our new format,
which is we're very excited about. Very excited.
Yeah.
All right, well, you guys, thanks for joining on the recap of episode 13, and make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Keep watching. We're really enjoying putting these out for you guys, and you can reach us on Twitter at Orc-Chop Express, or individually. You can find all our handles in the comments. And leave some comments and subscribe. We actually really like talking to you guys, and that's what really keeps us motivated and going. And that's it. Good night.